Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Brush. I'm your host, Glynnis, and today we're going to be discussing caricatures, tools, and backgrounds. So, today's topic is caricatures, and I personally got my start with art, with cartoons and like how to draw books, like even the animal books that I got, it was like cartoons and stuff, and it was drawn in like a cartoonish kind of manner. But something that I've kind of learned on my art journey is like caricatures. And if you go to like the fair or different like entertainment, like even like basketball games, they'll do like caricatures, right? And so, funny story, I've actually had my caricature drawn when I was a kid, and we was at the FIFA game, and you know, when you get it done, you're like, oh, this is so cool, and blah blah blah. But like when you kind of look at it, like at the time I didn't know this, but I know now, caricatures are basically like an exaggeration of a feature. And it's like there are like two ways you can take it when you get it done. Like most people get it done because they want to laugh, they know it's gonna turn out funny. And then the other part of it is kind of like, it's like, dang, like what is the history behind this? Like, do people actually be making fun of this part? And it kind of make you think, you be like, damn. But you know, I don't know. I personally, I don't really take it personally. It's supposed to be funny, but they do this with like political cartoons to kind of like, you know, jab at the person and stuff like that. And it's just like, you know, whatever. but yeah, it just made me think about like the story behind it and why people get those done. So what are y'all's thoughts on caricatures? Let me know in the comments. And yeah. Our other discussion is like backgrounds. And this is sort of like, again, this all comes from like practice and, you know, if you're an artist, you kind of know like backgrounds can be tricky, or especially if you overthink it, depending on what you're painting or what you decide to paint. I don't not like doing the backgrounds, but if I'm not doing like a commission or just like copying a picture for what it is, like you can struggle with backgrounds and you just be like, what am I gonna do with this? That's something like early on I was like, well, I'm just gonna paint everything that I see if I'm looking at like a still life or something. But like when you kind of step into your own and you're creating stuff just like freely, it's like, all right, what am I doing with the background? Like, do I want to include this in the background? Do I want to kind of change it up? But like when I'm doing like, I guess like landscapes, it's easy. It's a landscape. You're painting what you see. But for like, sometimes with portraits, it's like, okay, if you don't actually have like a live sitter or what have you, it's like, okay, you're trying to capture this person's personality and their likeness and stuff, and it's like, okay, do I just go with a solid color in the background? Do I don't know, add something? I don't know. It can be tricky. But I try to I think nowadays I don't really overthink it that much anymore, and I'll just be like, all right, this is going to be the background, this is the color, or like maybe a pattern or something. But again, I try to tailor it to like what people like, what they like, you know. So I guess that was all on that. I don't know, do y'all struggle with backgrounds? Because backgrounds can be really fun. Because I like abstract stuff, and I kind of like lean towards like different shapes or like colors, I'll just do that because it's easier. There's no thinking required. But that's if you guys have seen some of my work, I kind of did that with the Will Smith painting, and I was just like, I'm gonna do this like geometric kind of wacky looking background. But yeah, I've done it in a lot of my portraits, so yeah, that's what you can expect. Now, this next picture, this is something that I cooked up the other day. I was kind of working on like, I don't know, just drawing from life and like using reference photos. And I don't know, I wanted to do an animal, and I picked a horse and like cowboys and stuff. And so this picture is called Cowboy on Top. And I don't know about y'all, I like to challenge myself when I'm looking, when I'm deciding like what to create. And so the angle of the horse is kind of what I was like, that was like my challenge. And so I think it turned out pretty well, just kind of getting it down in terms of like the way his body is angled and the view of the horse. So I was really, really pleased with that. Challenge accepted. You know, I think it turned out pretty well. And the cowboy, I'm pretty satisfied with him too. You know, originally I was like, again, it's all about like laying out the composition and like where you want things, how much you're going to include. And initially I was like, I want to fit his whole body on here, but it's like, nah, you can just kind of like cut it off, but still get the effect. So yeah, I think it turned out pretty well. This is, again, Cowboy on Top. It's 11 by 14 canvas. And it's, this is gouache, actually. I don't have a lot of experience with gouache, but it reminds me of watercolor. So I kind of treat it as such. And that kind of leads into our next topic when I'm talking about tools and just like materials that we use for art. Again, this was a new medium for me, and you know, I've seen other people use it, and it's like, all right, that's how they use it. But for me, it's like, I don't know, it just reminds me of watercolor. Like, you can put on layers, it dries pretty quickly. So that's a plus. If you know me, you know my main thing is oils, and oils don't dry very fast. And so with just kind of stepping into using acrylic and gouache more, even watercolor, those dry faster. And it's easy cleanup too. You don't have to worry about saving the paint or any of that, dealing with the chemicals and all that. So, yeah, I really like it. I think I could probably, like, if I had to critique myself, I think I could probably push the values a little bit more, and just kind of, get more into like the layers. But yeah, I'm experimenting with it. I'm kind of learning how it dries. Cause the other day I was out at a vendor event, and I was painting like some cartoons that I drew, and like, if you don't like I guess drown the pigment out with like water, if you don't treat it as like a watercolor, I mean it's a water-based paint, but if you don't treat it like over watering it, it's pretty thick. Not thick, but it's like you can paint it so it's darker and it's not watercolor-ish. I know that sounds crazy, but yeah. And you can get like that fullness effect. So yeah. I don't know. If you have used gouache, let me know, what are your thoughts on it? How do you treat the medium? Yeah, let me know. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Beyond the Brush. I'm your host, Glynnis, and catch you guys next time.